Good morning. It is Saturday, November 26th, 2022. My name is Barbara With, and you're here with me and the party and the psychic sorority. And this week, we are going to go right into a channel that we did with the party and Einstein. After a very spirited discussion we had about conflict resolution and about the importance of the everyday goings on to our spiritual development. That every day is this platform that we're given to be able to become more self-aware, more conscientious, and more dedicated to working for the good of the whole. So I'm glad you're here. And so let's go on over and listen, and welcome to the party. Thank you for being here week after week as we've explored and opened up these conversations, because I think they're so important right now. I'd love to see what the party has to say about all this.
I'm sure they'd love to say.
I'm sure they do. Okay, let's do this. Let's take a few deep breaths. And as you exhale all senses of loss, of endings, of stale ideas, of old patterns that are working against you. And when you breathe in this pure white light that's getting to every corner of your being and opening you up. As you can feel that oxygen moving into your lungs and crossing over into your veins and flowing to every corner of your being. And that breath brings with it everything. It brings with it information. It brings with it activation. It brings with it knowledge and remembrance. And we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and that the greatest good be present here. Welcome to our circle. Another Saturday, we are all gathered together, and you can see us sort of gathered around the radio, like we're up in afterlife and we're tuning in to the Psychic Sorority radio network. We're going to hear from women, strong, ordinary, extraordinary women. To be able to be ordinary and extraordinary at the same time is a powerful place to be. There's a certain mindset of humans who want to see heroes. It's why there's stars and celebrities and people who are well known, who have a lot of money, who are seen all the time in magazines and on television or in advertisements and social media. And then there's the ordinary people who are really extraordinary. The ordinary people in the sense of proud to be human, happy to be just an everyday human being, because that is a miracle. An everyday human being, a miracle. And that gets so lost in the glitz and the glamour and the shine. Humanity forgets, because when you start to try to compare yourself to the extraordinary celebrities and heroes of the world, you oftentimes fall short. But when you know the real heroes are the everyday people who give, who live truthfully, lovingly, knowing in your heart that God is within you. And it is your job to be here to master that. And so today we've asked you to participate, if you can, in this next step of our evolution together. When you think of the fact that 30 years ago, we began speaking like this. For 30 years, we have been talking. We've published books. Our words have been channeled to thousands and thousands of people in different parts of the world. We may not be extraordinary in the sense that we're millionaires or billionaires, or that everyone knows who we are. But we are ordinary, extraordinary souls who have developed this supernatural communication with people who still have bodies. And we've used this portal through the years to train souls. Barbara might be able to remember, probably not, but she's likely remembers many of the situations she's been in through the past 30 years where she's been speaking to people, letting us speak through her. She's seen those people, but she hasn't seen the souls who have come through her voice to share their wisdom with you. And what you are, those of you who gather on these Saturday mornings to converse and share your wisdom and your knowledge, what you are a portal yourselves. We tell you over and over and over again, you are here specifically. You volunteered and you were chosen to be here today, to be those ordinary people who are going to change the world. We have been growing in stature and size over those 30 years to where there is a great attraction to this portal from afterlife. And this is about to also take a turn in the lens so that many, many people who still have bodies will come to hear the voices of the party and the angels and you, all of you. And as you look ahead in this next 30-year cycle, so many things are going to transpire to help push this information that we've been sharing into culture. There's this idea right now about transhumanism. This is a concept that's being sold by those who are developing it as a benefit to humans to have control of your DNA and your genes and other parts of yourself in order to make you stronger, in order to make you smarter, in order to make you faster, in order to make you better. What that group of thought thought-provoking scientists don't realize is that to remove a human from their emotions is self-destructive. All of you know that if you weren't to allow yourself to feel, you wouldn't get stronger. You might get greedier. You might get meaner, but you wouldn't get healthier. You wouldn't get fuller, deeper, richer. There's a reason why people have been having babies in many, many quantities, is because the more that you can raise your children to be the best humans they can be by learning who they are, by allowing themselves to feel all of their feelings, to teach them to master their intellect and how to self-love. Those are the children that are going to transcend transhumanism. That is the generation, the new humanity that is coming to populate the planet after these changes take place. Another reason why feeling and breathing is so important. You keep emotion alive. It is your connection, your direct connection to God. So when someone severs their direct connection to God, yes, there is a degeneration that goes on. And these kinds of things we've talked about with you, that right now, every human has been given this free will. And if you find yourself in a set of circumstances, whatever they are, a set of circumstances, they're there for you to deal with for the good of the whole, whatever that is. Now, there are some of you who aren't motivated by what the voices of culture are telling you to do in a capitalist society to strive for more money, etc. You're being impelled from within to feel and feel and feel. Feel and breathe and feel and breathe and feel and breathe. We want to encourage you to do it every day, just as a exercise, like you would do yoga. Consciously, intentionally sit down and just breathe and feel. Of course, when you're triggered and you have to, but as a conscientious intention right now, because this expansion that's going on, that the new moon has opened up, it's exciting. You'll see as things expand. It also requires conscientious self-care to expand in that way. You have to be ready to, sometimes you're going to be tired. Sometimes you're going to be frenzied. Don't tell yourself anything other than this is a wave that you do not have control over, that you are here to learn to ride. And we want to tell you, we are so grateful, so incredibly grateful for all of your energy. Next year it's a 7-year. And this means that this alignment to compassion that you've all been working on is going to start to be easier and easier. It's not going to be a struggle like it has been. Oh, you'll struggle, but not like you have. You're going to actually have things a bit easier. So when you find something in the world that might be sorrowful or a tragedy, something that might cause suffering, you're going to have such a different relationship to that. as you get to that place where you unify your inner world, starting with your emotion. And feeling and breathing is the first steps of that unification of self. And then all of you are going to be given an opportunity to go off on a new path. Each and every one of you will have your own story about a new path that's going to emerge in front of you. And we'll say some of you will take it and some of you may not, but that's okay because it's not the end of the new paths. In fact, if anything, we want you to practice being guided by your intuition. We want all of you to develop such a conscientious habit of tuning into that intuitive part of yourself and then doing what it says. As you do that, there's times where it feels uncomfortable because your ego and your intellect is going to try to talk you out of it. But the more that you almost strictly, we'd say, be strict with yourself to try to tune into that intuition and then do what it says. Sometimes it'll tell you to wait and you'll be really uncomfortable and fidgety, like you're a little kid. But oh, wait. But here's what I would do if I wasn't going to wait. I would do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. So think those things, but don't let thinking those things make you not wait. Wait. Maybe whine and moan while you're waiting, but wait and watch. Be amazed when finally the time comes when the universe is in sync. That's what you're looking for. And in the meantime, your job is to make your life in sync right where you are with whatever you have. Present moment. Be there. Be truthful. Be aware. Be a witness. And live. Live big and full and deep and rich. Live perfect and imperfect. Quiet and loud. Shallow and deep. Live it all. Live it all. And we say that to you as people who were once people who are no longer physical. Live it. Feel it. Love it. And know the party's very big. We are here with you, hopefully inspiring you in all kinds of different ways, aside from these Saturday morning chats that we have. So thank you. Thank you for being our friends. Is there questions or conversation that you would like to have?
I just want to say, woohoo! Thank you for the encouragement and thank you for that inspiration. I'm honored to be here with y'all.
Yes. Well, you are welcome. And we are honored as well.
Yes, thank you. I'm in awe, very moved. What you've just shared with us is so confirming for me. Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome.
Yes, thank you again from me too. I really hope we are clear enough and intuitive enough, or I am clear enough and intuitive enough to recognize the chances that's been offered to me. So sometimes I think I just don't see them.
Well, there are so many potentials. And then there's so many mitigating factors that make something manifest to begin with. Sometimes you can't. And you've all had this happen where you set out this intention and you're going to do everything you can to make that intention come into manifestation. And then you don't. Well, if we could show you from this side how energy works, it's so complicated. There's so much involved. There's so many reasons that you can't ever see with why something may or may not come to be. But most importantly, we just want to get you to love your life no matter what it is. And if you have a life that you don't really love, the way to change it is to start to just love it. Because if you're trying to get away from something, which we're not saying that you are specifically, heck, but we're just saying that if you can begin to really, really love your life, then you let go. And the energy has more of a chance to manifest in ways outside your conscious thinking, which is also the point of Barbara saying that you should be ready to die at any minute. It's not because we want you to be ready to die at any minute, but like you're waiting every minute for it to die. But when you've let go, everything's so free. And you don't have to hold on to what you think should be happening. And that opens up the manifestation into different and more interesting visions. What you're learning is this super consciousness about consciousness. This is a huge lesson. It may seem ordinary, like you're learning it through ordinary means with ordinary fights with ordinary partners, etc. It's not something wildly extraordinary, but it is. It is to become this super conscious of consciousness. It's extraordinary just to see the ordinary things take place. You have a very specific timeline that you're working with. And we just want to say for you that that timeline is predicated on something other than just your conscious thinking, where one day at some point years ago, you said, well, I'm going to do this until this time in my life. No, it's a deeper soul thing that came in to say, okay, she is going to do this until this time, and then it's going to shift into that. And you're still in this, but you feel that. You feel that. You don't know what that is, but you know it's there. Well, watch and be amazed as your life progresses from this to that.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you.
Jojo here for a minute. Had a last minute sleepover with Livy, and of course Uncle Dan came over. So we were watching one of the Harry Potter movies. It was the one when Voldemort, the face of the dark side, reappeared in body, as it were. And one of the guys on his side, one of the Death Eaters, was ranting on about being seen as a hero for his part in trying to get, Harry Potter. Dumbledore just took Harry with him and left the room and said, I was never much into heroes. And so even though the whole curriculum, the whole of the Hogwarts magic is about fighting the dark side, I suppose, even though we're not wanting to fight so much, but overcoming that part of ourselves and focusing on the best part of who we are and working together. I have to say, I'm looking forward to whatever comes forth for the kids, Debbie, with your work, your books, and any other things for the kids.
Yes, so it's not really fighting evil as much as it is elevating the powerful good magic of what's good for the whole. That's a very distinctive difference, even though sometimes you're confronted with the evil forces. Sometimes people try to hurt you. Sometimes people steal things from you. All of that is true. But if you're going to be a magician or your own hero in self-love, if you're going to develop your own magical powers, then you have to tangle with the dark side. There was no hero's journey that never left the castle. That is the beautiful dance of great cooperation. And the thing about the children is that there's a transitional time here in the next 30 years. And then after that, none of this will be needed as far as the change will have been embedded in a way that these teachings will be not old, they're timeless, and they're true. But when people do this naturally, you don't have to go take classes, you don't have to get healed, you don't have to have all the modalities of healing. Now what are you doing? You're creating things, and that's what the children do to really spread the inner child in all the humans, is the powerful steps that we'll be taking, inspired, of course, by them.
Very cool.
This is Linda. I want to thank you for this message. You gave us, or gave me at least, so much information and some clarity into things that have been going on for me in this weekend. I thank you so very much, helping all of us on this side with your messages. Thank you so much.
Well, you are very, very welcome. And all of you are so loved. We wish that you could be on this side during these channelings. It would be like, imagine you're in Afterlife with us, okay? And it's a big party, and there's a huge circle of souls. And down there on the floor, in the middle of the circle, are holograms of all of you. So right now, this point, there's holograms of the 6 of you. It's just like you're alive. Ha ha ha. It's like you're being projected onto in the middle of the circle by some mysterious life force. We are mostly fascinated. Each and every time there is a channel, there are souls that just are fascinated and come to learn and to help contribute. And when you're not channeling, still that part of you, that non-physical part of you, 1,000 acres of spirit, are mingling with us. Your human mind doesn't always remember what you're doing, but so this structure of creation is a never-ending playground of creativity, of learning, of evolving, just the joy that comes from creating from a place of compassion. We get teary because you are so special to us, so very special. And it is our intention to walk with you moving forward into this great expansion of all of our messages. And then together we will stand and we will watch and we will be amazed. Namaste.